right, call to order this meeting of the Board of Assessors. Excuse me, Board of...
Many meetings.
Too many meetings, absolutely right, because we were talking about having a meeting earlier. The Board of Selectmen, May 10, 2021, prior to our annual town meeting. As usual, we're being filmed by Area 58 Community Access Television, which will be available to you on Channel 15 and YouTube. We're going to start quickly with the Pledge of Allegiance and then go into our meeting. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Is everyone okay with the agenda?
I don't have any problems.
I'll move the agenda as printed.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Selectmen minutes for regular session April 13, 2021, executive session April 13, 2021, and executive session April 27, 2021. Does anyone have any questions about the minutes?
I'll move them.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Mr. Aaron?
I move to affirm the approval of the following warrants and commitments. Withholding warrant number 104 for $135,427.41. Warrant number 109 for $175,231. School warrant number 110 for $699,180.75. Ambulance commitments, $7,580.31. Mobile park fee, number 5, $5,160.
I'll second all except for warrant number 109, I have to abstain from the internal number 2577.
I'll move those other than the two that are questions.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'll move for purposes of getting this paid, number 2577 on warrant number 109 for $175,231.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
I move to affirm the approval of the following selected bills. KP Law PC Legal Services for March, $5,656.50. Attorney Lawrence Mayo, Legal for April, $4,525.
Do I have a second?
Says I can't second.
I will second both of those. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Recused.
I move to approve the following selectmen bills. Michael Gilman Esquire, $4,532. County of Plymouth County Co-op and Services, $150. Harry B. Harding and Sons, $2,785.
Yes.
RIX, $72.10.
Second. All those in favor? Mr. Seeley, it's on to you.
I didn't know whether you wanted to do council on aging interviews for the director position next week, or you wanted to do it the following week. I'm certainly not recommending you do it on the 25th as part of your normal meeting. Next Wednesday, there's a Chapter 40B hearing with the ZBA. On Thursday, there's the planning board, both of which I have some obligations to do. I don't know if you wanted to aim to try and do these next Tuesday on the 18th. We do these in person, I would expect.
What time of day?
Probably evening, depending on the people who are, soon for you, given people coming in for interviews. I've got to assume that
I don't have any issues right now. Putting up there on Tuesday.
okay, well, So I'm going to aim for 6:30 or 7. I need to see how many people COA committee sends back to us. It should be in the next couple of days. And then how long do you want for each interview?
We typically done those at the
Well, you're doing the department head, I think, the one way.
Oh, yeah, well, we, yeah, that can I already,
Yeah, say more than half hour, yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
Because I think the maximum we're going to be getting is 5, we may be getting 4. That's okay. On the town hall ramp, we've got 3 bids, one of which is, the low bid was from Site Tech. I reviewed everything with Scott Paterna and with Angelo, not pronounce his name. So I believe the recommendation was to go with their bid, Site Tech, which is a low bid, and have alternate one done, which is both for the ramp, which is the main contract, and then also the work on the porch or platform, whatever you want to call it, that not the extension from the porch or platform to that exit door at the selectman's office. We're going to still need to get an appropriation for town meeting tonight, or whenever we get to that article. I don't know what the board's pleasure is. Do you want to wait? I mean, we can't, awarding the contract is always contingent upon getting the town meeting appropriation. That's not the concern. I just didn't know whether you wanted to wait until, for instance, either the meeting where, for the interviews or the 25th instead.
Well, if we're committed to doing it, we should probably try to get it on the schedule as soon as possible, based on availability of contractors, materials, and so forth. What is everybody else's feeling?
Well, I agree with you. If we want to expedite, expedite this situation, do something as soon as possible. I don't know what else is coming on the road.
And the earliest it would get done would be July 1st, because we won't
Have the money until then.
until then, right?
Yeah, but if they know and plan,
No, I know, they may need to order supplies, get the shortage and everything, and they take longer.
just get on the schedule.
There's no reason to wait, right? There's no other alternative plans out there, so.
Not that we're worrying.
I would move that we take the recommendation of Charlie's company and propose it.
I'll second the Site Tech.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
For the fraud risk assessment, just a pass over, I haven't had time to review the 2 proposals that are quotation marks reasonable in price. One was at $33,200, the other was at $50,000. The third one was something like $178,000, which obviously we're not doing.
So we're gonna pass over now?
Well, for awarding the contract, I am asking town meeting to approve the $50,000. But I can't make a recommendation to the board about which company, but I'm asking for the greater of the 2 amounts in case that's a superior proposal sufficiently, so that I'd be recommending to the board to go with the $50,000 firm. But I'll talk to you all about that either next week or the week after. On the Chapter 90 state reimbursement, I didn't bring any of the paperwork across the street. There is a reimbursement form asking for, Steve Hayward's asking for the board to sign. This was the engineering costs for the 2 sidewalk projects for the, that have been submitted to complete streets, the one over on Cranberry Drive in Plymouth, and then the one over on Monpont Street leading up to the intersection. I believe it's $38,000, so the board, when it can, come through and sign that. Aldana Road, I know that Joan Pierce is having problems with the state getting all their ducks in a row. She's concerned that home will run out for this year because they have money set aside for this project, $150,000. She's hoping not tonight, but maybe on the 25th. I'll get a progress report from her between then and then now, but that the board would be willing to at least get that step of the post swap done so she can get that checked off the list. We would still be waiting to get the deed work and everything done for the sliver as part of the whole trade. But I will bring, just so the board's aware that things are rolling, but not as smoothly as we would like, and I'll bring that back to the board on the 25th. Speaking of the 25th, I'm recommending that the board hold that meeting again on Zoom. The reason for it is that we'll still have a 14-person limitation up in the Great Hall. We're going to have two comment periods, or in fact, I think they're simultaneous possibly, for the proposed marijuana facilities, Flower and Soul over there on Plymouth Street in the Blue Building, and then Green Earth Cannabis, which is going to be proposed next to the liquor store. Given that we already start with 6 people, let's say 2 or 3 people coming in from each of the firms, we're going to be, even before any member of the public is there, we're going to be very close to 14. We hit that limit, and the meeting gets shut down. I don't know if the board would want to do something else, or would be okay with doing another Zoom meeting. My hope is that's going to be the last one. We're, Bob Valeri, the state is changing their numbers for indoor gatherings. Bob and I haven't paid a lot of attention to it in the sense of the current limit is 100. We're not going to run to 100 in the Great Fall. But we had bumped it to 14, and our plan is to bump it 20 to 25 with Memorial Day weekend. And so after that, we probably won't need a meeting up there for the time being in the Great Fall. We won't need to do a Zoom meeting, I would expect. But this would try this, given the limitations of our capacity right now, my recommendation is to do a Zoom.
That makes sense to me. Anybody have any other thoughts?
We can get to the, Pam is giving you updates in your supplements or whatever for any changes in the motions for any of the articles, the actual motions for Article 2 and the motions for the special town meeting. So we should be set there. I do need to go into,
Before we do that, so I spent time on Friday and used some of Charlie's time on Friday going back and forth on the Council on Aging and going back and looking through all the revisions and all the different construction projects. So I didn't know if the board thinks it's a good idea to give a report from the building needs and facilities to say that we have a line item transfer to create schematic design plans for the museum building, or not get into that issue tonight.
Have you completed your complete surveys of all the buildings at this point?
I mean, we've
How
gone,
long was the project?
we've gone to every building. We have that Excel spreadsheet where we have everything. But I could skip this tonight and do something different at a later meeting where I show pictures and everything and do a real report if the board wanted me to do that in June.
It seems like more
Like
appropriate.
a real
Right.
presentation, is
Yeah.
that fine? Is that-
I would think that that would be a better way to go.
Thank you, Karen.
All right, skip it.
I believe I need to go into executive session with the board for a few minutes on the collective bargaining agreements, because I think, let me look at this. Across the corridor.
How long do you think you're going to be, Charlie?
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry. I think, I can take it, I'll take it, let me walk through things. The police chief and fire chief should agree to the board's terms. And since I put it in motion form already, the board could, in public, say that it's approved, it's tentatively approved subject to town meeting appropriation, the funding for both the police and fire chief contracts. The amount needed for the fire chief's contract for fiscal '22 is $5,500 above where he is right now, and the amount for the police chief's contract is an additional $10,000 above where it is right now. Both chiefs have agreed, and I think it needs to be on the record in the public section for the board to tentatively agree also.
So moved.
Second. Moved and seconded, all those in favor? Aye.
I'm going to go back. If we go in executive session, I'll talk about the mixed use. We can go back in public session. The board can take a specific vote if it wants to, having made a decision in exec. Highway and firefighters, there's really no reason to go into exec. As far as I can see, patrol officers, we've said, are at the JLC, and sergeants, we haven't even started negotiating fiscal 22. So the only reason to go into exec would be to talk about the mixed unit for a couple of minutes. Make sure the board understands what we're doing, and if the board wants to approve the tentative agreement, then we come back out and then also approve it in public session.
All right, so can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Have a second? Second. Move the second, go into executive session. Mr. Andrews? Yes. Mr. Garrett?
Yes.
Really? Yes. Thank you.
We'll be coming back into public session. We're going to executive session for the mixed unit as discussion of the contract in public session would be detrimental to the town's negotiating position. We will be coming back into public session.
Thank you, Charlie.
Tell us when you're ready to roll. So the board's come back into public session. I believe you'll have a vote on the sergeant's contract for fiscal 21. The tentative agreement is for an increase of 1.6% across the board wage increase for the sergeants for the fiscal 21, and then also a modification in the language as to how sick time is considered to be overtime.
Just for clarification, this is for the present.
Current year, July 1st, 2020 to July.
We're not talking about anything else we're doing.
No, we're going to have to reopen for negotiations for fiscal 22 at a later time.
I make a motion to approve the contract.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the contract. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there any other business that the board wants to handle tonight?
All right.
Whenever you want to adjourn, I can go over FinCom.
Motion to adjourn to town meeting.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone.